Welcome to Week 6. This week we'll discuss something that is near and dear to all of us: sleep. We all know that we spend nearly one-third of our lives asleep, but what exactly is sleep? How does it work? Why is it so important? And what can you do to sleep better? What is sleep? We all know what it is, but can you define it? Sleep isn't just a time when your body and brain shut off. During sleep, our heart rate drops, our body temperature falls, and we experience complex changes in our brain activity. On a very basic level, nerve signaling chemicals called neurotransmitters control whether we are asleep or awake. They do this by acting on different groups of nerve cells or neurons in the brain. Neurons in the brain stem produce neurotransmitters that keep some parts of our brains active while we are awake. Other neurons signal when we should fall asleep. These sleep neurons seem to switch off the other chemical signals that keep us awake. Research also suggests that a chemical called adenosine, which causes drowsiness, builds up in our blood while we are awake, driving us towards sleep. This chemical gradually breaks down as we sleep, causing the cycle to continue when we wake. The release of neurotransmitters are driven by our own internal sleep-wake biological clock, or our circadian rhythm cycle. This regulates sleep by monitoring things like how long you've been awake and the changes between light and dark. At night, your body responds to the loss of daylight by producing melatonin, a hormone that makes you feel sleepy. During the day, sunlight triggers the brain to slow melatonin production, so you feel awake and alert. When we sleep, we usually pass through 4 phases of sleep, which are stages 1, 2, and 3, plus REM, rapid eye movement sleep. Together, these stages complete one sleep cycle. Each sleep cycle typically lasts about 90 minutes and repeats 4 to 6 times over the course of the night. The amount of time you spend in each sleep cycle changes as the night progresses. You'll notice on the chart that the amount of time we spend per sleep cycle in stage 3 deep sleep decreases as we approach wakefulness, while the time we spend in REM sleep increases. When we first fall asleep, we move quickly into stage 1, or light sleep. In this stage, we drift in and out of consciousness and can be awakened easily. Our eyes move very slowly and muscle activity decreases. In stage 2, our eye movements stop and our brain waves become slower, with occasional bursts of rapid waves called sleep spindles. Stage 3 is considered deep sleep. Here, extremely slow brain waves called delta waves begin to appear. Deep sleep is associated with physical rejuvenation. It is a time for accelerated tissue repair, and growth hormones are released during the first sleep cycle of the night. At the end of each sleep cycle, we enter rapid eye movement sleep, or REM sleep. Our breathing becomes more rapid, irregular, and shallow. Our eyes move rapidly in various directions, and our limb muscles become temporarily paralyzed. Our heart rate and blood pressure also increase, and our dreaming almost exclusively occurs during REM sleep. REM sleep also plays a key role in learning and memory. During REM sleep, our brain consolidates and processes the information we've learned during the day, forming neural connections that strengthen memory and replenish our supply of neurotransmitters. The first REM sleep period usually occurs about 70 to 90 minutes after we fall asleep. The first sleep cycle each night contains a relatively short period of REM sleep with long periods of deep sleep. As the night progresses, REM sleep periods increase in duration, while deep sleep periods decrease. We spend about 50% of our total sleep time in stage 2 sleep, about 20% in REM sleep, and the remaining 30% in other stages. While sleep requirements vary from person to person, most healthy adults need between 7.5 and 9 hours of sleep per night to function at their best. So the question is, are you getting enough sleep? If you're getting less than 8 hours of sleep each night, chances are you're sleep deprived. What's more, you probably have no idea just how much lack of sleep is affecting you. If you've made a habit of not getting enough sleep, you may not even remember how it feels to be fully awake and alert. Some signs of sleep deprivation are needing an alarm clock in order to wake up on time, feeling sluggish in the afternoon, getting sleepy in meetings, lectures, or warm rooms, getting drowsy after eating a heavy meal or when driving, needing to nap to get through the day, falling asleep while watching TV or relaxing at home, feeling the need to sleep in on weekends, and falling asleep within 5 minutes of going to bed. Ongoing sleep deprivation can result in several short-term and long-term negative health consequences. On a short-term basis, some of the problems are decreased performance and alertness. Reducing your nighttime sleep by as little as 90 minutes in just one night could result in reduction in daytime alertness by as much as 32%. Memory and cognitive impairment. Sleep deprivation impairs your memory and your ability to think and process information. Stress can increase due to your mood's impact on personal and professional relationships. Automobile injuries. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration estimates that each year, drowsy driving is responsible for at least 100,000 automobile crashes, 71,000 injuries, and 1,550 fatalities. In the long term, studies have found that untreated sleep disorders and extended sleep deprivation to be associated with numerous serious medical illnesses including high blood pressure, heart attacks and heart failure, stroke, obesity, psychiatric problems including depression, anxiety, and other mood disorders, and attention deficit disorder. Sleep deprivation can be caused by a number of factors. However, sleep disorders are the leading cause. 70 million Americans have sleep disorder, which is more than diabetes and heart disease combined. The following are some common sleep disorders that may be affecting your sleep. Insomnia is the inability to get the amount of sleep you need to wake up feeling rested and refreshed. It is the most common sleep complaint. Insomnia is often a symptom of another problem, such as stress, anxiety, depression, or an underlying health condition. It can also be caused by lifestyle changes, including medications you take, lack of exercise, jet lag, and even the amount of coffee you drink. Sleep apnea is a common sleep disorder in which your breathing temporarily stops during your sleep due to a blockage in the upper airways. These pauses in breathing interrupt your sleep, leading to many awakenings each hour. Sleep apnea is a serious and potentially life-threatening sleep disorder. Speak with your doctor right away if you suspect you or a loved one may have sleep apnea. Restless leg syndrome, or RLS, is a sleeping disorder that causes an almost irresistible urge to move your legs or arms. The urge to move occurs when you're resting or lying down, and is usually due to an uncomfortable, tingling, aching, or creeping sensation. Narcolepsy is a sleep disorder that involves excessive, uncontrollable daytime sleepiness. It is caused by a dysfunction in the brain mechanism that controls sleeping and waking. If you have narcolepsy, you may have sleep attacks while in the middle of talking, working, or even driving. People that work multiple shifts or night shifts are at greater risk for sleep disorders because their biological clock is out of sync. Their schedules force them to work when their body is telling them to sleep, and to sleep when their body is telling them to wake. While some people adjust better than others to the demands of shift work, many shift workers have less quality sleep than their daytime counterparts. As a result of sleep deprivation, many shift workers struggle with sleepiness on the job. This cuts into their productivity and puts them at risk for accidents and injury. There are a number of things you can do to reduce the impact of shift work on sleep. Take regular breaks and minimize the frequency of shift changes. Try to naturally regulate your sleep-wake cycle by increasing light exposure at work by using bright lights, as well as limiting light exposure when you're home and it's time to sleep. Avoid TV and computer screens. Use blackout shades or heavy curtains to block out the daytime light in your bedroom, and consider taking melatonin when it's time to sleep. Here are some simple tips for better overall sleep. Aim for at least 7.5 hours of sleep each night. Consistent quality sleep is key. Include physical activity in your daily routine. If you're experiencing trouble sleeping, keep a sleep diary. Record when you go to bed, record when you get up, your total hours of sleep, and how you feel during the day. As you keep track of your sleep, you'll discover natural patterns and get to know your sleep needs. Turn off your TV, smartphone, iPad, and computer a few hours before your bedtime. The type of light these screens emit can stimulate your brain, suppress the productivity of melatonin, and interfere with your body's internal clock. Make sleep a priority. Just as you schedule time for work and other commitments, you should schedule enough time for sleep. Instead of cutting back on sleep in order to tackle the rest of your daily tasks, put sleep on the top of your to-do list.